Hello and welcome to FPL Mate. My name is Dan and I'm very excited to start the first of many Euro 2024 fantasy videos. Let's get going. So yes guys, Euro Fantasy starts on the 14th of June, so whilst we still do have a little while before we have to get started, I thought I'd throw together a first draft team. There will be many changes over the next few weeks as we put in more and more research to find the best picks for it, guys. Hopefully, we're going to start off with a strong team to make a basis for our team going forward. Guys, if you want to join in the fun, make sure you do subscribe for very, very regular, maybe even daily Euro Fantasy content up until the first deadline. And if you want to join the mini league as well, you can click the link in the description, or you can use the code that you see on screen right there as well to join the FPL Mate League. So link in the description, use the code, whatever, get involved. Let's see what we can do. So guys, let me start you off with telling you that we've got unlimited transfers to use between now and the match day 1 deadline. We are going with a strategy right now, which is going to involve using the limitless chip. That means a chip where you can have essentially a free hit like in FPL, so you can pick any players for 1 game week only, but the budget is unlimited. So unlimited budget, whoever you want for 1 game week only. I think in match day 3, that's going to be perfect because we're going to see a lot of teams maybe rotating if they're already qualified for the knockout stages of the Euros, and we're also going to see some teams will know exactly who's going to be playing. We're going to see a lot of teams with very, very favourable fixtures. Some fixtures will mean more than others, and that could help us decide on which players we're going to go for. And I think it's going to be very different, the team we want in match day 3 compared to 1 and 2. So that is the strategy that I'm going with as things currently stand, with a wild card being used in match day 5, which will allow me to reset my team after the round of 16 ties, just in case there's any upsets there. I think that's worked really well in the past for those who have gone with that strategy during these tournament style fantasy games, which can be so much fun. So guys, let me show you what I've got for my team right now. And if you are enjoying this video, make sure you do drop a like as well, because we're going to start off in goal with Mvogo. Now this one is a little bit of a risky pick, granted. Now Mvogo is the Swiss goalkeeper. He plays versus Hungary and then Scotland. Remember, I'm just looking for players for the first 2 match days, since we will be using a limitless chip in match day 3. And what we see with Mvogo is he's played 4 out of the last 7 games for Switzerland, despite the fact he is only a 4 million goalkeeper. He's actually kept 3 clean sheets in those 4 games as well. And although I don't think he's necessarily first choice for Switzerland, I think there is a good chance he will play even if Sommer comes back. Sommer is usually the main goalkeeper, but Mvogo back up and has performed very well whenever he's been called upon. So a little bit of a risky one. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in the warm-up games in the Euros, and therefore, when we see the Euros warm-up games where, you know, before the tournament starts, we'll see who is going to be the goalkeeper for Switzerland. But I'm keeping an eye on this as a potential 4 million budget goalkeeper option. In defense, we're doubling up on Germany because Germany play against Scotland and then Hungary. So 2 really nice fixtures for them. Decent chance of clean sheets over those first 2 fixtures. Now, what we have with Ta is a nailed-on and cheap defender. 4.5 million is going to be pretty good value for money when you've got a nailed-on Germany defender there. And with Taz height as well, you might get a little bit of aerial threat from him as well. But here's the interesting one. Mittelstadt is going to quickly become the hidden gem that everyone knows about. So get to know this name right now, guys. He's only played 2 games for Germany so far. They were the last 2 games that Germany played. They were against France and Netherlands, 2 friendly games as we build up towards the Euros. And what we saw is that he scored in one of those 2 games he started as well. So on form, a lot of German fans are predicting that Mittelstadt is going to become the main left back for Germany with a little bit of an attacking threat, but more importantly, crucially, at that 4 million price tag. So super cheap, nice bargain option for you. And finally, we've got DeMarco. First opening fixture against Albania, which is fantastic. Really nice fixture for Italy. With DeMarco, we also have a set piece taker as well. He is known for taking free kicks and corners as well. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists for Italy, despite only having started 12 games. And for Inter Milan this season, he scored 6 goals and has 8 assists as well. So we've got here a pretty attacking kind of left back, really, who is hopefully going to be able to take advantage of the favourable opening fixture that Italy have. Our midfield is going to kick off with Wirtz. You guys probably know about this player by now. A super season for Leverkusen. 18 goals, 20 assists during the season in the Bundesliga team and in the other competitions that Leverkusen did play in as well. well. He scored his first Germany goal versus France back in March, which is really nice. He's been kept out of the team for a long time of Germany due to injury issues, but now he's coming into it, finding his feet, playing in a wing position, usually at the moment, pretty advanced, and I think that could be very advantageous for him. At 7.5 million, a pretty decent price tag for a Germany team who, as we know, have very nice fixtures. Scotland, Hungary, we like these a lot, and the home team often does pretty well in these tournaments. So can Wirtz pull it out the bag with a great tournament? I think there's some potential. Now, you're seeing Rodri in this team, and yes, you are seeing this correctly because, well, Euro Fantasy works a little bit differently, and I'm not going to go through all of this in too much detail right now. We'll do that in the next video, where we talk about some of the rules and how you could take advantage of the unique rules we see in Euro Fantasy. But you get points for, well, this is an important one, ball recoveries, and you also get points for scoring from outside the box. Now, what do we know of Rodri? Well, from Man City this season, we have seen 9 goals, 14 assists. He has really become a more attacking player, using more of his attacking abilities, scoring a lot of long shots. He will still be the same defensive midfielder, making those ball recoveries, and because of the quality of the player, arguably Spain's best player, he has got that potential to get a man of the match as well. And in Euro Fantasy, you get 3 points if your player is the official man of the match as well. So Rodri definitely has potential for that as well. So 6.5 million may seem a little bit of money for what we typically see as a defensive midfielder, but given Rodri's attributes and how you get additional points in Euro Fantasy, I think this low-key could be a really nice pick. Another interesting one is he actually scored 2 goals in a recent friendly against Brazil, so he's definitely more than capable of scoring goals for this Spain team. Granit Xhaka, another defensive style midfielder, and I think he's another one of the riskier picks in my team that I'm not sure if he is going to be in my team come match day 1, but for now he is in here. He plays it against Hungary, then Scotland, so some nice fixtures. He is on set pieces, and he may take some penalties as well, depending on Shaqiri. He's got good long shots, as we know, potential extra goal points there, ball recoveries, and man of the match points is also going to be a potential there as well if he can perform well. Probably Switzerland's best player, so you would imagine that could be the case. And Saka, at 8.5 million, is probably England's best value attacker. We probably know already about the likes of Kane, Bellingham, Foden, all a little bit more expensive than Saka actually, but Saka playing against Serbia and then Denmark, he's been great for England whenever he's played. 3 goals in 4 games in the World Cup in 2022, 4 goals and 2 assists in 7 qualifying games for the Euros, so he's basically almost doing 1 goal return per game for England, which is really nice, and he's coming off a great season for Arsenal as well, so I think 8.5 million for an attacking midfielder is very, very good value indeed, and I like the look of him as well. In the forward positions, I do believe these kind of players pick themselves in a way. I really, really do, because they're just so obvious as the 3 forwards for me to go for, I think. First of all, Harry Kane, absolute machine, coming off the back of another phenomenal goal-scoring season for Bayern. He's the penalty taker for England, which is very, very useful. Elite forward, and 9 goals and 2 assists in his 8 starts during qualifying further prove that he is just a fantastic international player. This is a lot of attacking returns. He's getting more than 1 attacking return per game for England, which is really, really nice, and I think that's going to continue into the tournament as well. Lukaku is probably the one you are most curious about in this team, but Lukaku is just the most insane player for Belgium. He just takes things up to another level whenever he plays for his national team. He plays Slovakia and then Romania, so 2 really nice fixtures there, and he is a penalty taker for Belgium, of course, but here is what was really interesting, and this is just lately. This is just his last 10 games for Belgium. He has 15 goals and 2 assists in his last 10 games for Belgium. That's even better than the likes of Harry Kane. So at 9 million and at just 9% selected at time of recording, this is a player who is a little bit differential, has insane amounts of international pedigree, and should go into this tournament with another great goal-scoring run, given that's all he ever does for Belgium is score goals. He is just another level well. I can't wait to have him in my fantasy team for the Euros. And finally, Kylian Mbappe. What more can we say? I'm sure FPL managers have been very excited to get this guy in their fantasy teams, considering that he's never played in England, and by the looks of things, he probably never will going to Real Madrid next season. But he plays against Austria, who are one of the weaker teams in the tournament. Then the Netherlands, a little bit tougher, but he was elite at the last World Cup, as we know. Super consistent player. Another penalty taker. All three of my forwards here are penalty takers. And if you played Fantasy Premier League this year, you will know how important getting those penalty takers into your team is. And I might even try and find a few more for my team. We're going to do a video as well about all of the penalty takers, the free kick takers, and the corner takers in Euro Fantasy. Which nation has which player as their set piece taker. So stay tuned for that one. Make sure you are subscribed if that sounds like a video you are interested in. And finally, we're going to go to the bench. Now again, we're not going to cover this too much in this video, but a big thing that is very important to note in Euro Fantasy is that you can make live in-play substitutions. As long as your player on your bench hasn't played yet, you can swap him in for a player who has played or hasn't played in your starting 11. So, for example, if Ta, for example, or Mittelstadt, you know, if Scotland score against Germany, Ta and Mittelstadt, they do not get very many points. Well, that's okay. I can swap them out and replace them with players who haven't played yet. And given that the Belgium defenders here, they don't play until the 17th of June, that means that there will be a time between the 14th and the 17th where I can make that decision to swap in my Belgium defenders for my Germany defenders. That is going to be an option for any area of the pitch. If your bench player has not played yet, you can swap them in at any point, as long as they haven't played. Once that swap is done and the player has played, that's it though. They're locked in your team. So it is a little bit of a risk sometimes. If your defender, for example, maybe scores 4 points and you want to take a risk to see if your Belgium defender scores more points, but they actually end up scoring less points, that's too bad, unfortunately, because your Germany defender will be locked out of your team then. Just as an example there, but we'll go through that in more detail in the next video. But, guys, we've got Lunin as our goalkeeper here. So if Mvogo doesn't play, or, you know, if it doesn't work out there, he doesn't get the points that I was hoping from him, well, Lunin, Ukrainian goalkeeper playing against Romania, nice fixture, by the way, 4.5 million. Decent price tag, and Ukraine are a team that are capable of keeping clean sheets, so could be pretty decent there. Like we say, we do have two Belgium defenders. Castagna, I think, is pretty useful playing against Slovakia, then Romania. He got 2 assists in qualifying. He plays as a right back for Belgium, occasionally pushing up the field a little bit more. So does have a little bit of attacking potential there, but at 5 million, I'm not 100% convinced I do want him in my team. Teata, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name. Teata, something like that. If there's anyone in the comments who knows how to say the name, please do correct me on any names. I want to learn, so do let me know. But he mainly plays as a left back for Belgium, though he is also capable of playing as a centre back. He seems reasonably nailed on in the team at the moment. Another player with 2 assists during qualifying, so does have a little bit of attacking threat there. And actually kind of like the look of him for ball recovery points potentially there as well. And that brings us to our final bench player playing on the 18th of June, right at the end of match day 1, is Bruno Fernandes. Now, Bruno is obviously a player we know from FPL, and he is an incredibly creative player for Portugal as well as their penalty taker if Ronaldo is not on the pitch, for example, and also taking set pieces, free kicks, that kind of thing. So very, very useful indeed. He plays against Czechia and then Turkey, so very favourable fixtures in match days 1 and 2. He has 6 goals and 7 assists in 10 qualifying matches. That is phenomenal. And also played a friendly recently where he got a goal and an assist. That was back in March. So, a really in-form international player. And even though 9 million is quite expensive, to get the main man from Portugal could be very useful indeed. Ronaldo fans, do not hate me for saying that, but I think it's Bruno's time in this tournament, and I think he could have a really, really good one. Very reliable, useful, nailed-on player to have with all of those set pieces, what more could you want in a great group games for Portugal? Like the look of that. So this is what my team is looking like right now. I think there definitely will be changes over the next couple of weeks as we do more very good in-depth research, find out more about all of the teams, and see those Euros games, those warm-up matches, see how the teams are lining up, see who is coming into the tournament in that good form. There will be changes, but guys, we will go through all of those new information, the new research over the next couple of weeks. So make sure you are subscribed if you do like the sound of that and you want an update on my team as we go through towards their matchday 1 deadline. But guys, we are going to leave it there. If you did enjoy this one, make sure you do drop a like, do make sure you are subscribed, and I'm very, very excited to bring you more Euro 2024 fantasy content. I've been waiting a long time for this. I love the international tournament fantasy games, and I usually do quite well in them as well. So hopefully you guys can join me through this new adventure over the summer. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.